In the shattered city of Khan Yunis, southern Gaza, men move slowly across a field of broken concrete and twisted rebar. Their faces are streaked with dust and grief. Each step they take could uncover a body, a son, a mother, a neighbor. Beneath the ruins of what were once homes, families now search for traces of their loved ones. The air is heavy with smoke and silence. The only sounds are the scraping of shovels, the clatter of bricks being lifted by hand, and the murmurs of prayer that break the stillness every few minutes. No rescue equipment, no cranes, no sirens, just people digging with bare hands, guided by the faint smell of death. A man in his 40s stops and wipes his face with a torn cloth. He gestures to a pile of cement where he believes his brother might be buried. He speaks softly to those around him, and they begin to dig faster, their movements frantic, almost desperate. A few moments later, someone shouts. Everything stops. A small piece of fabric has appeared from the dust. They kneel. The cameras pull closer. This is what Gaza has become, a graveyard of entire families. Since the last wave of strikes, Khan Yunis has been reduced to concrete skeletons and open pits. The smell of ash mixes with the scent of decay. Bodies still lie beneath the rubble because heavy machinery cannot reach them. Electricity is gone. Fuel is gone. Water runs only in trickles from broken pipes. Children wander among the ruins, their eyes blank with shock. Some clutch toys they found in the debris, a doll, a football, a school bag half burned. Others stand silently beside the adults, too numb to cry. One little boy, no more than 8, kneels beside what used to be his house and places a small stone on the ground. It's a marker, a memory of where his family once lived. For days, volunteers have tried to form small search groups. They use whatever tools they can find, iron rods, buckets, sometimes even cooking pots. With each discovery, a crowd gathers. When a body is found, a blanket appears from somewhere, and the remains are carried through the streets in silence. People pause their work, press their palms to their hearts, whispering prayers before returning to dig again. This is the rhythm of life after war: search, find, mourn, and return to search again. The United Nations says thousands remain unaccounted for in Gaza, many believed to be buried beneath collapsed buildings. In Khan Yunis alone, the local civil defense has reported that more than 2,000 structures were flattened in recent bombardments. The destruction stretches block after block, where what used to be apartment buildings are now jagged slabs of stone, standing at angles like tombstones in a city of ghosts. Humanitarian teams describe scenes of almost unimaginable suffering. Without excavators, recovery efforts rely entirely on manual labor. The lack of medical services adds another layer of tragedy. Some of the bodies recovered are partially decomposed, while others bear signs of shrapnel and fire. Many are children. Across the city, makeshift morgues have been set up in schools and mosques. Generators hum weakly as volunteers try to document each body before burial. A woman weeps as she looks through photographs, charred faces, hands, fragments of clothing. "That's my daughter," she whispers to the official holding the clipboard. Her voice breaks. No one speaks. They simply nod and move to the next photo. Outside, bulldozers that survived earlier strikes rumble through the streets, clearing narrow paths so ambulances can reach the few remaining hospitals. But hospitals themselves are overwhelmed. Doctors say they lack medicine, anesthesia, even gloves. Bodies wrapped in sheets line the corridors. In some wards, the smell of disinfectant mixes with that of death. As the camera pans across the wreckage, the viewer can see personal traces: a half-open wardrobe, a child's notebook, a cooking pan still sitting on a stove now buried in dust. These fragments tell the story of everyday life interrupted in an instant. One rescuer, his voice trembling but firm, says into the camera, "We don't have machines, but we can't stop. Even if we find only bones, they deserve to be buried." His hands shake as he lifts another stone. Around him, others dig in silence. Farther down the street, smoke rises from what was once a bakery. The sign still hangs, blackened by soot. It reads Al Sabah bread. Nearby, a man pulls out a metal tray, its surface warped by heat. He laughs bitterly. "It's the only thing left," he says, then he turns away. As night falls, the search continues by flashlight and by the pale glow of mobile phones. The darkness makes the work slower and more dangerous. Every creak of a shifting beam sends people running, afraid that the ruins might collapse again. Yet they return, always return, because the dead must be found. In one moment captured by the AFPTV camera, a group of rescuers suddenly shout, "Stop! Stop!" They've uncovered what appears to be a human arm. The light trembles as someone steadies the phone. Another man kneels, brushes away the dust, and begins to cry. He does not speak. The others lower their heads. It is a scene repeated countless times across Gaza. In the background, the call to prayer echoes faintly, a sound that cuts through the ruin and the noise of generators. Some pause, facing the direction of Mecca, murmuring verses through their masks of dust. For them, faith is the last thing the war has not taken. Outside the rubble, a group of women sit on blankets under a tent made from torn plastic sheets. They hand bottles of water to the diggers, whispering names of the missing: Ali, Mariam, Youssef. Every name is followed by the same question: have you seen them? Most of the time, the answer is silence. From time to time, the distant rumble of jets is heard. The sound makes everyone freeze. For a moment, the digging stops. Faces turn to the sky, fear written in their eyes. Then, when the sound fades, they resume their work. Life and death have become a continuous loop here, a rhythm dictated by survival, not by hope. In the few hospitals still functioning, staff describe an unbearable routine. We treat the living during the day, says a nurse, and we receive the dead at night. Her voice cracks as she holds a clipboard smeared with dust. Behind her, stretchers carry both survivors and corpses through the same doors. The humanitarian agencies warn that Gaza's infrastructure has collapsed entirely. More than 80% of homes in some neighborhoods are either destroyed or uninhabitable. Clean water is scarce. Food supplies are dwindling. And amid all this, people still insist on finding their dead because in Gaza, to bury someone properly is an act of defiance, a way of saying that humanity still exists. As dawn breaks over Khan Yunis, smoke drifts across the ruins, tinged orange by the rising sun. Birds circle above the shattered rooftops. A boy stands on a mound of rubble, holding a small Palestinian flag. The wind catches it, making it flutter over the destruction like a symbol of quiet resistance. Below him, adults continue to dig, their silhouettes dark against the brightening sky. Every recovered body is carried carefully, as though the weight of dignity itself rests on those arms. Some are buried in hurried graves near what remains of their homes. Others are taken to the overflowing cemeteries outside town. A few receive small ceremonies, a whispered prayer, a handful of earth, a tear. The AFPTV camera lingers on these faces, lined with exhaustion, coated in dust, illuminated by resolve. It captures not only tragedy, but endurance. The people of Gaza have been here before. They know that mourning is a form of protest. That memory itself can be resistance. As the voiceover fades toward the end, we return to the first image, a man kneeling amid ruins, hands pressed into the dirt, whispering a name. The camera slowly widens. Around him, others dig, others cry, others simply stand and stare. The city is silent except for the wind, the call to prayer, and the sound of hands moving stones. This is Khan Yunis. This is Gaza, a place where loss has become the language of survival, and where even in the ashes, people continue to search